The next candidate, George Singh.
Good evening. My name is George Singh. I'm 37 years old. I was born in Toronto to parents of Guyanese and Bermudian heritage. I've been self-employed since I was 19 years old, and that path led me on to being a legal assistant currently. I go to the University of Toronto studying Canadian history, and my whole mission is to make sure that responsible government comes to Rouge River. This is my third election. I ran in '97 when I was 23 years old, and I ran in 2010 in the municipal elections. The most important issue is that people decide on an elected representative that is in their best interest. This isn't a party situation. This is a person situation for you. We are here to serve the constituents.
Let's talk a bit about that. What are the issues of Scarborough Rouge-River? George Singh, can you go into some detail from your point of view?
From my point of view, the issues are jobs. When I'm campaigning, when I'm talking to people, everything they say is we need more jobs. Aside from that, it's also education. Scarborough Rouge-River is a huge area. It's been developed so quickly that there hasn't been enough infrastructure to keep up, such as daycare. I know somebody who's been waiting 2 years for daycare, and they say they're going to be on a waiting list for another year. This person can't even get a job or pursue an interest in school. So these are issues that everyday Rouge River citizens are facing. The unfortunate thing is that all these programs exist in some form somewhere, but the government doesn't make a good practice of making it available and known. People have to really take the time and search. And Nigel, go to the employment offices, look online. Like right now, Canada Elections is actually hiring. They've been looking for people for a long time. So you have to navigate through the system. Unfortunately, that's the way it is right now. The programs are there, but right now with the Green Party's position, they're going to create jobs through the retrofitting program. When the government signs on to improve your house, to save more energy, so many people will be hired. There's also a light rail transit plan to improve transit across the whole country and replace the old system and provide it with a new energy efficient system whereby people don't have to take planes as much, reducing the carbon emissions. So there are a lot of jobs out there. You have to search, but at the same time, the government right now is not doing the right job and they're not delivering the services to you correctly.
George Singh, let's hear you chime in on these issues.
The issue is the money is sitting around Parliament and it's going to...
It's sitting around in the hallways? Is that what you're saying?
Wouldn't that
be nice?
There's a $1 billion boondoggle with the HRDC, the Human Resources Development Canada, where the money is not accounted for. How could $1 billion go missing, not accounted for? The sponsorship scandal from the Liberals, $100 million.
No, that's a long time ago now. You're going back there?
Yeah, we're going back there because this is what happens repeatedly.
Yeah, but we need to know what's going to happen tomorrow, not several years ago.
If Stephen Harper gets in, $35 billion is going to go to fighter jets that we're not fighting a war with. It's going to go to $10 billion of super jails that when the crime rate is going down. The money has to be allocated properly. Why are we paying people $250,000 severance pay when they're not working a year later? This is the type of thing that government does right now. The Green Party is going to revolutionize that. Within time, you're going to see a green opposition and a green government. It's a matter of time. The youth is the future, and they have to be protected. So the parents of the youth have to look out for their children. Money is there. It can't be wasted. That's the biggest problem. Currently, the seniors, about 35% of seniors receive guaranteed income supplement. That supplement is based on the CPP, Canadian Pension Plan benefit of only 25%. The Green Party's platform is to aim to get that 25% return up to 50%. That way, people who have paid into CPP all their life would actually get more money out of it. That's the problem right now. Everyone's paying into employment insurance, they're paying into pension plans, not getting the full benefit out of it. There's a lot of also in-home care things, initiatives that the Green Party wants to improve. I know from experience, I've cared for my father who was disabled, and it's hard to find funding. It's hard to find the right agency to help you. I'm sure if you look hard enough, you will find the right route, but there is money out there and it's not being used properly. They're leaving people with the advices of trying to find it on their own. It should be a lot more streamlined. The service should be streamlined and more focused on actually helping people instead of just sending them in a goose chase.
George Singh, you're the Green Party candidate. Are you hearing environmental issues at the door as well?
I'm hearing them, but not as much as people would think. What the impression is the Green Party is all about environmental issues, and that is a strong standpoint. But the Green Party is about responsible government. It's very focused on proportional representation. Right now, the Green Party had 7% of the vote in the last election, almost 1 million votes, and that doesn't reflect in the seats. As 7% of the vote, you should have 7% of the seats of the House of Commons, and that will reflect a true democracy. We need to get back to true democracy.
So then you don't bring up environmental issues at the door?
We do bring up environmental issues.
I see your point. You're trying to,
We're trying to broaden it. That's the main reason why a lot of people...
I know, but your name is the Green Party. That's why I asked.
Okay. Yeah. But the thing is, the environmental issues, right now we give $1.4 billion in subsidies to the oil companies. Once we remove that subsidy, that $1.4 billion will be back in our community to lower our taxes.
As well.
Okay.
All the other parties are jumping on the green initiatives. Harper's bringing it up with the renewable energy, NDP's bringing it up right now, and the Conservatives...
Well,
is that a good thing or a bad thing?
No, if I may say, my friend...
Hang on a second.
They're jumping on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
The Green Party is the only one who makes it part of their platform and pushes it to the forefront, whereby in the debates they want to leave it out. The environment is our future. If we don't protect our future, we'll have nothing for our children.
Okay. O'Neill?
I can tell you this much. The Green Party's policy is for the MPs to have their own independent voice. That's what makes us different from the other governmental parties. That's what makes us a true democracy. You will find that if a Liberal candidate, excuse me, if a Liberal candidate is not in conjunction, his riding is not in conjunction with the party wants, he will go with the party. He will thereby disrespect and disengage his riding. Green Party is not about that. They're about true democracy, responsible government. Youth issues is something that's dear to my heart. Since 19 years old, I've been working with a youth center and bringing kids into the environment where they're around professionals. I've been a mentor to many youth, and that's what they need. All these social programs that are beginning to be cut, it's making the community destabilized. The kids don't have anything to do. They're fighting for spaces at the community centers. They can only go Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between certain times. These community centers should be open all the time. And the policy with the Green Party is about family unification, more times for families. So when you reduce the work burden, like the Green Party wants to set up that a mandatory 3 weeks minimum for paid vacation. When you do things like this, you allow families to connect with their youth and guide them more in a respectful manner. Right now, there's a big.
Is that a good way to combat crime? Some of those very tactics.
Definitely, you need strong community involvement. You need youth to see a good example in front of them. That's why I volunteer at the Malvern Family Resource Center, and I go to the Scarborough Youth Resource Center all over the city. A lot of people know me for youth community work, and it's not done by pay. This is all done out of goodwill. So the more people that step up in the community and do these type of things, is you will see the youth crime rate keep going down and empower the youth to know their rights when they are faced with difficult situations.
Okay,
I have to agree with George on that too.
In regards to crime, from running municipally, I've found out that the area Rouge-River is not well lit. One of the major things that the area has to do is increase the lighting, that people will have a safer time walking around. And then the second thing with that regard is you have to take the desire of crime out of the people in the area. You have to attack things such as substance abuse, where a lot of crime stems from. When you get these young people or these people who engage in criminal activities on the right path, you're not going to have so much fear and so much disrespect and harm in the society. When it comes to child care, the Green Party has a platform based on national child care policy, and that will enable people to send their kids to school at a younger age where they're not worried about their daycare, and they'll also be able to focus on the in-school daycares. I have a 16-year-old daughter, and when she was going to school, it was very convenient to have her daycare within the school. I was able to drop her off early enough to get to work. She goes to school, she goes to daycare, goes to school, and then I pick her up, she's at the daycare. And these are the type of things that the government has enough money and enough funding to actually incorporate instead of wasting it on these other scams and scandals that they've been doing.
Okay, let's go to...
I'd like to finish. The Conservative Party has funded these programs, and parents have a choice.
The economic plan is very on focus.
Sure, George, go ahead,
we're
please.
the only ones who have been...
At the end of the day, the services aren't being delivered properly. That's why I know people that are on a waiting list for over a year for their children to go to daycare. So no matter if the Conservatives have funded it, or the Liberals, or the NDP, it's not being done correctly right now, and that's why we need people inside office that are going to do these things correctly and actually pay attention to the issues.